Hey y'all, hey! Welcome back to my channel, all my late blooming babes. I'm your host of the Late But Blooming podcast, Dom. Welcome to another video. If you are new here, welcome. I hope it's not the last time we talk and connect. You guys can always subscribe if you'd like, because we're doing a thing here. We're making a thing. And if you are, of course, returning, thank you for coming back. Let's chat. So you guys, you know how I do when my mind gets to going and something's on my noggin. We got to talk about it. So I was just thinking, as I oftentimes do, because a lot of times when you leave a toxic and or narcissistic relationship, when you're in your healing process and phase and everything, you'll oftentimes remember all you went through with the narcissist, even some things that you forgot about, because while you're in survival mode with these people, quote unquote, you tend to push a lot of things to the back of your mind just so that you can try to get through it, so you can try to continue on with the relationship. Basically, you go along to get along. So a lot of things you just push to the back of your head so you can keep moving forward. But when you remove yourself from that toxic relationship, it is literally like taking off a blindfold, and you're able to see so much clearer. You're out of the fog now of that nasty, disgusting, confusing, just manipulative situation, and you can think clearly. Your memory will start to come back because the fog is now gone. So you'll be able to see clearly, and you'll remember some of the things that you went through. And in remembering those, I really want you to not be so hard on yourself for going through that. And I know that it's easier said than done, especially if before you were with this person, you were the type of person that said, I would never do X, Y, and Z. But then when you got with that person and you were manipulated and you were gaslit and you tried to make the situation work, you tried to make sure that things were good between you guys, you ended up doing those very same things that you swore to yourself that you would never do. So it was a betrayal of yourself by yourself in a way. And sometimes, I know for me personally, I sometimes can find myself feeling guilty about that. I.e., I was always a person who said I would never stay with anyone who does the cheating thing, because girl, I'm me. Are you serious? But then I got into a relationship with a narcissist, and of course this was many moons and years ago, so I've had a lot of life experience since then. But when I fell into the situation, into the relationship, I went into it naive. I didn't even know what a narcissist was, because of course we're now getting to the point where any type of mental health situation is more discussed and talked about and researched, and we just have so much more information now opposed to back then, almost 20 years ago. But I always, even back then and not knowing what it was, I would always say, this does not feel right. This relationship is so much different than anything I've imagined a relationship to be. This is nothing how I imagined a marriage. But I stayed and stuck it out as long as I could stay and stick it out. But when you are in that situation, though, there will come a point where you just can't anymore. But I still don't want you to beat yourself down because you did, for as long as you did. Because like I said, these people are masters of manipulation. They are masters of it. Sorry guys, I got a phone call. But where was I? They are master manipulators. They are all about the spin game. And whatever can be done for them to get what they want out of the situation. So if you fell victim to that because you are not a person who operates in that energy, don't beat yourself up about it. What you do, though, is you recognize what you went through, and that's only going to come from you taking the time to heal. You have to take the time to heal. And there is no time frame on how long it will take you to heal. Healing is an individualized thing. It's necessary for everyone, but the ways in which each person goes about it will be different. Like I said, the basis of it might be the same. You need to go your no contact. You need to set your boundaries. You need to stand firm. You need to disconnect from them and or all flying monkeys, friends, family, anyone you guys have in common. All of that stuff is pretty general. But again, the specifics on how you go about it are going to be dependent upon you as an individual, and where your areas of improvement could be, the areas in which you need to change need to be. Again, for me, I don't mind giving examples in my own situation. For me, it was always stop trying to people please. I'm a person who does not mind confrontation if it's necessary, but I'm not one who goes searching for it. I'm always down to end the confrontation, but I don't go searching for it. So I'd rather just, do whatever needs to be done to avoid the confrontation, because I'm a person who, if I get to that point, I can get to that point. So I try to avoid that. But in that people pleasing thing, that will lead sometimes people to step and tap dance all over the boundaries you set for yourself. And sometimes, a lot of times in that situation, I allow that to happen. And of course, the more you allow anything to happen, the more it's going to continue. So I recognize that that's something I had to work on. And now, people pleasing, what's that? As long as I'm pleased is really the only thing that matters to me at this point. And if I'm not pleased, there's no way I'm worried about you being pleased. So this is just an example for me, myself, individualized. But like I said, don't beat yourself up for whatever amount of time you spent with these people, because no matter how long you spent, you've saw the light. You've decided to move on and do bigger, better, brighter things. You decided to let go of that negativity. You decided that you are going to grow. You are tired of being stagnant with this person. You're tired of all the negativity. You're tired of all the hostility, all of it. You finally made that decision, no matter how long it took, and that is huge in itself. So don't beat yourself up about that. You really should be celebrating, because there are some people who never make it out of that type of situation or make it out of the abusive relationship. So you made it out, and you are alive, and you can tell the tale. So do that. You take your lessons, you took the lumps, and it hurt. It does sting very much to give someone your all, 100%, 150%, or even more sometimes, to give all you can give, and to have that same person that you give your all to not appreciate it, treat you like you ain't shit, treat you like you should be lucky that they allowed you to do all of these things for them. That do sting. That bruises. That hurts. I'm not even gonna hold you. It does, but it hurts more staying. When you finally decide, you know what, I deserve better, I deserve reciprocity. Yeah, like I said, it's gonna hurt, but them tears gonna dry up, and you're gonna get stronger, and you're gonna finally realize that was the best thing I could have done, was let that go. Because you'll start seeing the improvements. All that negative energy that was going on, it'll transform, because now you don't have to worry about that. It'll be transmuted into positive energy that you can use in ways to elevate yourself that you never even thought of, that you never imagined, because you finally made that decision that was best for you. So don't beat yourself up on it, because it took however long it took, but you finally made a decision that's best for you, okay? So that's just something to think about. So think about it. And until the next video, guys, I hope this helps somebody, and we'll chat again soon.